Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Well, hello, everybody. It is Treks After Dark, and I'm with our darlings, Michael and Bradley. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, man.
Dude, you guys make me look like a freaking old man wrapped up in a parka, hunkered down in my garage. You guys look nice and comfortable. I guess Daddy's doing it wrong. I don't know what's going on. I got it upside down, but I'm glad you guys are on the show. We're very excited. You guys have seen the last couple shows. You guys have been help putting it out there in the atmosphere. We've been killing with all this content and information and breaking news about Ben Johnson and everybody that he's got. Listen, he's taken everything, man. The kitchen sink, 8 Mile. He's got it all coming over, man. Motown is no town anymore. Ben Johnson is in Yo Town, and we're excited to talk about it. And like I said, the Bears have now hired Ben Johnson as their head coach, and we're diving deep into what could be the dream offseason for this team. So let's get right into it, man. We've got Ben Johnson, the mastermind from Detroit. His arrival is the first piece of the puzzle. But let's not forget, guys, we've got to make this partnership work with Ryan Poles in the front office. What's your take on this, Michael?
My original thought with Ben Johnson taking this job, it's not only that the Bears wanted Ben Johnson, it's Ben Johnson wanted the Bears. I mean, I think this was kind of known throughout his whole process. He was only going to look for jobs that he wanted. That's why he only took a few interviews with the Jags, the Raiders, the Patriots, and the Bears. He only took 4 interviews. And I think it's pretty telling that the Bears only had to have one Skype call to really determine that this is the guy they wanted. And they deserve a lot of credit because the second he became available, I don't think they were ready really for it, but I also think they were, because the second they lost, literally it felt like immediately after Detroit finally lost, all of a sudden Schefter's saying Eddie George is coming to Chicago tomorrow. And it was kind of like right out there. And I don't really like this about the Rooney Rule, but that's basically exactly what it was. It was just to satisfy that, to jump on Ben Johnson, get their guy. But it also says that Ben Johnson wants to work with Ryan Poles. He wants to work with Ryan Poles. If he didn't, he wouldn't have taken the job. I think you can point to Caleb as one of the reasons why he came here. But if he just liked Caleb and wasn't a fan of Ryan, I don't think he still would have came here. It shows that he wants to work with both those guys, and that's a big deal.
Well, I'll tell you what, and we'll get Bradley's comment here in a little bit, right after I just add a side note. I agree with you, and the thing of it is if you've seen somebody in the building for the last 3 years, 6 games, more if we would have been in the playoffs with them, they know you and you know them, right? I mean, there's really nothing that we could do on Skype or any of that would make a hill of beans or a difference. Even having them in the building with you, like, dude, do we really need to talk? I mean, come on. You freaking waxed our ass for 6 games, in the last, 3 years. Like, dude, you've took the North. I wanted to take the North and you took it. And, you're putting up 30, 40, 50-point games. I mean, come on, what else is there? There might be a couple I's and T's crossed and dotted, but in terms of more about these guys than anybody else in the coaching tree that's available, especially Ben Johnson. Maybe not so much Glenn, because he's just kind of I don't know. He just kind of got that reserve vibe until you hear what kind of a leader of men he really is, a barker, with tenacity and fire. I like that about him. You know what I'm saying? But I think everybody pretty much knows what you got with Ben. Although I will say this much, and I'll leave it right out with Bradley, is the more sound bites I hear, and I'll get into that tomorrow morning, is that this guy is a motivator. He's fiery too. I thought he was kind of like Roman Catholic and not so Pentecostal, but dude, this guy, he could set your hair on fire, guys. What do you say about this, Bradley? What's your take on this hire, and how do you feel about the whole thing, buddy?
Yeah, I don't want to get in too much to what you want to talk about tomorrow, but yeah, like you said with the sound bites, man, every time I hear another one, I'm like, maybe he is the leader of men. Maybe, that they found their guy that they completely wanted, offensive guy, and he's leader of men. They're not just settling for one side of it. But yeah, I mean, obviously we know where I've been on the coaching search and who I've liked, and
same here. Yeah,
and yeah, we've made it pretty clear who we liked.
Yeah,
but I'm not
I've
going
been
to be
getting
mad
called
about
out. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to be mad at about Ben Johnson at all.
No,
totally fine with this hiring. I think he comes in and brings an instant change to the presence of the locker room. I think the players will have a different mindset. I've seen Jaquan Brisker put a couple tweets out there. DJ Moore, he tweeted a picture of Shadow, the Hedgehog. So I think he wants to call himself Shadow this next year to kind of go at Detroit a little bit. So
yeah,
I like the motivating factor he brings, like you said, and the fact that they jumped on it so fast means they knew he was the right guy. If they thought that themselves, or they just took into account what everybody's saying in the national media and hearing the fans and other fan bases at that, what they think about Ben Johnson.
Guys, we didn't get cute with this one. We actually got what everybody wanted. I mean, seriously, he was a first-round draft pick. He was the one that everybody wanted. We ended up getting him. I mean, let's talk about how we feel about that. Listen, I talked myself out of it. I went back to like some prehistoric stuff back when I was like high school when they had a black and white television. Just kidding. It wasn't that long ago. But what I'm saying to you guys is this, like, seriously, like, here's the deal. You see that hot chick, that's walking with the jocks and they're all muscled up and, you're like, she's out of my league. We're not even, you talk yourself out of it. The Aggie girl that's with the freaking Aggie guys, the Cowboys and all that stuff. They got the big trucks and, their dad owns the farm and they've got all the money and stuff and they're wearing the tight. Hey, listen, I talked myself out of that one. This is what I did with Ben Johnson. I talked myself out of it. And for all the right reasons, I picked somebody that had more maturation and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of right reasons to like Ben, man, honestly, especially the way, and we'll get into this in a little bit. And I don't mind if you guys throw a couple sound bites out here. I'm actually kind of curious which one you were going to use as an example about what he said, since he's been here in Chicago. But, man, I'll tell you what, they can't get enough of them. There's videos, there's pictures, there's all kinds of stuff just coming at all different directions. Like, they can't get enough of this guy, man. It's pretty cool, guys.
Yeah. It's like he's got Hard Knocks on him all over again.
Yeah. Hey, dude, and he loves it, dude. He amps it up. He is not like, okay, sometimes you put people on the spot and it's just like, Mike Silence, just dead dry. You could hear a pen drop. Not this guy, dude. He comes correct and he does not disappoint at all. All his sound bites have been legendary, and it's not just, let's do the hits, and all that. So, but first off, this is what we got, boys. We've got Ben Johnson, the mastermind from Detroit. His arrival was the first piece of the puzzle, right? Like I was talking about earlier. But this partnership with Poles, man, this has got to work. And I think it could work. I think it's something like, I don't know, like I feel like Poles, he leans more towards the defense, if you know what I'm saying. Like I've seen him pick up some, some guys. But if you guys remember, he started off with the defense, right? 2022, he got Brisker. He went and got Gordon. I just always kind of seen him as that. So this is a little wrinkle to me. Like, I'm like, does he really care? Like, I thought like offense was always second fiddle, but they might be able to, this partnership, they might be able to make it work. What do you got to say about that, Michael?
Yeah, I think it absolutely can work. I mean, I think I've been pretty vocal. I didn't want Poles to be making this decision. I didn't want him here just because I didn't trust him the first time with hiring the right guy. But who knows? This is the guy that the national media said they should have hired. The Bears have never done this. Matt Nagy he came out of left field. It was like, Eberflus was even worse. I mean, no one really thought that was going to happen. All of a sudden, he had an interview, then a second interview, and was hired in like 3 days. It was both their last 2 hires have been out of left field. But it makes me believe that maybe Poles is learning. And it's not just Poles, it's kind of this whole organization. It kind of feels like they're just catching up to speed. And I think a lot of this can be attributed to Kevin Warren. I mean, they've never fired a head coach midseason. They just fired a head coach midseason. They've never forked over money. I mean, shit, they were flying out dudes in commercial planes these past 2 coaching hires. Now they're getting a private jet for Ben. I mean, it just kind of feels like Kevin Warren, ever since he's come along, he's been slowly weeding the McCaskies out of the old football way and been telling them, hey, if you want to run a real business like the Bears have been, you got to wake up, dude. You got to wake up. And I think Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, I think they kind of go hand in hand here with this whole hire and how they got it done so fast. And you got to give McCaskey credit as well for forking up the money finally for a big time head coach.
Oh yeah, what do you got to say about all that, man? I'm sure you're pretty fired up, Bradley. I know you like some motivators in the building, and I think that's something that Poles kind of need. I mean, honestly, the way I see it is Eberflus was just too flat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely going to be the spark that we needed, Bradley.
I think with Eberflus, he was just so cliche. He just like run of the mill. Everything was, what you'd read out of a storybook. It's just the same old with him. With Ben Johnson, everything you've heard is like it's different and it's
organic. It's original. It's all his stuff. It's not like something
absolutely.
that you've heard 100 times. And I think that's why you and I, pardon my, but here's the deal. I think that's what you and I was so interested in Pete Carroll. Mm-hmm. His charismatic, his way to lead and all that kind of stuff, fiery personality. I really honestly did not know this about Ben Johnson because I purposely kept him off my radar. I felt like he was the hot chick that we just shouldn't even lay eyes on. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and we'll see what happens. I mean, it could all just be a smoke show in front of us right now, and it might fall apart. But we're hoping it doesn't, and we're all going to be optimistic that it doesn't. So he brings that optimism, and he should bring that optimism to every single fan that's watched interconference play over the last 3 years and seen what the Detroit Lions have done. I seen a graphic that Jared Goff was like bottom 20 in the NFL of quarterbacks in all of his pass ratings and stuff the year before Ben Johnson started calling plays. And then he shot right up. Yeah, he shot right up to like 5th or 6th, and then been top 3 the last 2 years.
And you know what? I'm breaking him down really quickly. It's probably in here later on, but they had the freaking whiteboards out. They were spending around the clock working together, all this stuff, breaking down all his Rams film and where he went wrong and what he did, the rights and this and that, his play action, his no huddle. He did all this statistic analysis and all this stuff and analytics and said, this is where we can make small revisions and make you better. And it actually worked. So I'm very excited about, and they showed a chart where Caleb, if he did a little bit of this and did a little bit of that, similar to, but different than what he did with golf, he could plan around, use his strengths, Michael, and, work on his weaknesses. I think it's a good thing. I'm excited about Johnson. His offensive schemes has been innovative, and I think he can really elevate Williams, and Caleb is going to – but the real test will be how much he gets in personnel decisions. Bradley, I think what do you think about this? Do you think like he's going to get some personnel decisions?
I would think so. I mean, we all know that our O-line has struggled, and I've actually had this theory that maybe it's partially the coaching. We've had the same lame duck offensive line coach for the last 4 years now, and it's just why haven't we changed it? That's beside the point. That's above my pay grade. But I think they're going to have to give him some say on his personnel on the line, his personnel and specialists. As far as running back, obviously we got a lot of good receivers, but I think he's a guy that's helped develop great young offensive linemen. So I would want to take his opinion into account when it comes to drafting linemen.
Well, I'll tell you right now, they've already paved the way and they've created space for Hank Fraley, who was an offensive lineman in his own right for several different teams, and he's going to be over 70 in the chat. Shout out, man. Appreciate you guys. for all the cross platforms. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you. We appreciate your views. But Hank Fraley, man, it sounds like he's coming over. It sounds like he's going to promote him to offensive coordinator / offensive line coach. And I would have to say that he's probably going to have maybe one, maybe two offensive line coaches together. I mean, it's going to take a village to get this offensive line squared away. I'm excited. I know the boys over there at Barstool has been working on Zach.
Zach Martin.
Zach Martin from Notre Dame. In the Cowboys, he said, "Hey, come on over." He goes, "Well, I'll tell you what. If you trade over White Sox Dave," he said, "Done deal. Don't worry about it. Easiest trade in my life. We're trading White Sox Dave for Zach Martin. Come on." 34 years old. He's still got probably about 2, 3, 4 years left in the tank. Somebody that can help orchestrate and be there and be the perennial guy that, hey, listen to this guy. He's had success at a very high level for years, all the way from Notre Dame into Dallas, and been, one of their, anchors and masterpiece on that offensive line, man. They've been great for years. So, I mean, I think this could be the turning point, guys. Johnson's experience with a young quarterback in Detroit could translate to this as well here. And I think, he's already spoke openly and gushes about, Caleb, and he just was talking about how that ball was whistling when it went past him. He's like, whoa, and he was really excited about that. So obviously that tells us right now that the quarterback that he had in the building didn't whistle much. Well, at least his ball didn't. Something else might have been whistling, but it wasn't that ball. But hey, guys, if you guys don't have anything else to talk about as far as this goes, I'd like to jump right into the defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm equally excited about this guy because honestly, this is the way the scales work in Chicago. You get one thing, but you get the other. You get peanut butter, but you don't get no jelly. You know what I mean? You get cereal, but you don't get no milk. You got to use some water or something. You know what I mean? So, but we could potentially have both in the building at the same time, an offensive coordinator, offensive line coach to boot. And what I like about all these guys, and Antoine Randall, make no mistake about it. Michael, and Bradley, he's from Chicago. He loves Chicago. He's from the area. He's a Bears fanatic, dude. He loves the Bears. He works good with the receiver coach. He also works with the quarterbacks, and he's done both. So I like how all these guys have all these different things that they can bring to the table and kind of help meld our guys together. I mean, what say you, Michael? Isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think it just kind of shows Johnson's brain kind of right off the bat. Like, we kind of already assume how good he is as a play caller, offensive wise, analytics. I mean, that's even a whole nother branch of his genius, is the way he gets into analytics and stuff like that. And why I think that might even be a bigger deal than some of this other stuff. But it already shows that he can make a good personnel decision. Because I think that was kind of thing. It's like, all right, if we get an offensive head coach who's the defensive coordinator, because that's arguably just as important. Without one, this defense struggled. Who are you going to have to right this ship that Eberflus kind of had sailing right, but the second he left, that defense was just nightmare really for the most part of the season. And Dennis Allen's probably one of the best guys that you could probably go get right now. Since 2018 through 2024, his defense had the 5th best EPA in the entire NFL. The only teams that are above them were Buffalo, New England, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. All teams that typically when you think of their defense. Maybe not Buffalo so much recently, but there was that stretch where it was Buffalo's defense was really damn good under Sean McDermott. So to only be behind some of those guys, it just shows that you give him the right pieces, you give him the right personnel, he's going to turn that defense into something great.
And what about you, Bradley? What do you got to say about this top tier defenses in New Orleans and his impressive track record and all that, as far as Allen's defenses and how consistently good he's been?
Yeah, I mean his defensive coordinating days have earned him 2 head coaching jobs, 2 separate times. So that says enough about him right there.
Well, the good thing about that is you never get a third chance. So he's going to be with us for a while as a defensive coordinator. So that's good because he's not going to, have another turn in the barrel. It's over. Like, you get 1 try, 2 try, but you don't even get 3 strikes, you're out. It's 2 strikes, you're out. You know what I mean? So He'll be here for a while. I like how he confuses the quarterbacks. He's been known to freaking wreak havoc with Tom Brady, and that was really hard to do because that's a slick son of a bitch, you know. So, yeah, somebody brought up in the chat, they said something like I was, you know, having this podcast outside. And I mean, it's pretty much a darn near given when you can see my breath, you know, guys. So I actually finally got it warmed up. When I first got in here, it was I can't get it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's now 51 degrees. It's getting pretty toasty in here. Earlier, it was in the single digits. It's been slowly rising. So I got a space heater. I got a top heater, a tank top for my propane heater. I just picked that up today at Menards, and hey, baby, I'm ready. I got layers on. I mean, hey, this is bear country, man. It's what we do, man. It's what we do for you guys. We bring it for you. This is from a fan, from the fans, for the fans. It's for you guys. We want your voice to be heard, so just hang on for a little bit. We're going to get to all your guys' comments, and let's drop it like it's hot, man. So here's the deal. I'm curious about his 4-3 scheme and how it will work with our current players. I mean, you know, we need to make some adjustments and all that, but if anyone can make it work, it's Allen. I mean, what do you think, Bradley? You think this is going to be all right? You think we'll be able to make some adjustments with the guys we already got in the building?
Yeah, great coaches make the adjustments, and I believe he's a great defensive coach. So he'll make the adjustments. He'll get the best out of every guy that he can.
Right.
Anybody that wants to try.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really want to fit, you know, a round peg in a square hole. Hey, I nailed that one. How about that? But seriously, Michael, I mean, I think like he's going to have to try, but I think he could also be one of those innovative guys that he'll try to work with what he's got until he finally clears everything out and gets it exactly the way he wants. You know what I'm saying, Michael?
Yeah, I hear you 100%. Right now, I mean, I don't think it has been confirmed. I mean, it kind of sounds like one of those things where it hasn't been confirmed, but like 95% chance it's probably going to happen. But if it does happen, the one guy that I would look to really explode, and he's already good. Like, it's not like I'm going to name some backup free safety that's going to go crazy with Dennis Allen. Look for Kyler Gordon. Like, Kyler Gordon had a good year this year.
Yeah.
In the defensive scheme that Dennis Allen likes to run, he aggressively blitzes guys off the edge all the time. We already saw Eberflus kind of use Gordon in that role a little bit this year, and he already had success. I think Allen's going to use him even more in that type of role than Eberflus did. I mean, Kyler Gordon could have 4 sacks next year, and I don't think I'd be too surprised and have even more pressures.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Bradley? You agree to that?
Yeah, I agree. And we did see Eberflus start to use Kyler Gordon off the edge a little bit more, and I think that's a really good strong suit of his. We even seen guys like Kevin Byard starting to come off the edge a little bit, and if Dennis Allen can use those guys, and that's one of their strengths that he can build off of, and you know, really implement them into his defense, then that's great. And we've got a couple pieces that he's going to love.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about it. I think he's going to be great. I think our defense is a lot better than it is. We just got to get these guys back on track. You know, we need some discipline. We need somebody in here that's proven, that's got respect. And make no mistake about it, these boys are doing their homework, and they should already know, especially if you're on the defensive side of the ball, what kind of a legend this guy is. But I think when Adam Schefter broke that, and multiple other sources, you know, Rossini, all these people are talking about, you know, him and Hank Fraley and all that. I see it coming down the pipe, man. This is a little easier to dissect than head coaches and all that. That seems to be a little tricky, if you know what I'm saying, you know. So and there's a lot of connections here too, from what I'm understanding. Like, there's, you know, so many separations of, you know, all these guys together and where they're all at and whatever. So I think it's really cool. I think it's refreshing. And listen, Adam Schefter said this guy, Ben Johnson, was putting together a star-studded class, and those names right there are pretty freaking fancy, you know, if you ask me. But
yeah,
Ben Johnson, his offense thrives with a strong offensive line. So make no mistake about it, like you guys were saying earlier, we are going to do our due diligence and get that offensive line. But any specific names that come to mind in free agency of the draft, Bradley?
I don't know a lot of college guys. I don't watch a lot of college ball, but we've already talked about him. But one name that shoots out is Zach Martin. I mean, how great would that be? That would address probably the biggest problem on this offensive line.
Yeah.
Obviously, we need a center, but that'd be one of the biggest issues on our offensive line fixed right away.
Yeah. That's pretty huge, ain't it?
Yeah. I mean, with losing Tevin on top of it, possibly losing Tevin. We don't know if we're actually losing him or not, but it seems like the writing's on the wall with him.
Seemed like he's been lost most of the seasons anyway, so it ain't like we're going to lose a whole lot, right, Michael?
Exactly. Yeah, I think I'm with Brad on that one. I don't see Tevin returning, even though I truly believe if he could have a real healthy season, play upwards of 14 games, that he could have a really successful season. It wouldn't surprise me if he left the Bears and did just that, and everyone's like, well, we got rid of this guy and we had someone kind of like James Daniels, but it's like you kind of have Ryan Poles' hands tied. You can't pay a guy that much money when he plays 8 games a year. You just can't make that decision.
No.
I don't think anyone can really fault Ryan Poles for doing that. Just like if Ben Johnson were to not work out, you can't fault him for trying. It's the highest upside swing. If whatever happens, but you can't fault the decision. But in free agency, I'm not going to go with the O-line. I think Trey Smith, I did see that report. He's the current Chiefs guard. Report. I think if he has a player option, I think he's a restricted free agent, or I don't know it's the right terminology, but he's expected to hit free agency and he would instantly be the top offensive guard on the market, which would be an interesting target. But I'm going to go with a different position. I don't think they return Keenan Allen with Ben Johnson now at play caller. I think they're going to need more speed. And one guy I'd look at is Hollywood Brown. He had a 1-year deal with the Chiefs this year. He was hurt a lot. We already know how fast he is. I think maybe he could fill that JMO role a little bit in this Bears offense alongside Moore, who would be more that Amon-Ra role. And then I don't know how exactly he's going to use Odunze, but that might be the benefit of having so many weapons. We'll see what this genius can do with them.
Yeah, I'm looking at Kevin Zietler. I'd like to see him get on there, sticking with the offensive line, and where, like I said, leading into my question, that Ben Johnson, he likes to have a good offensive line, to start his receivers, start his running backs, and protect his quarterback and all that kind of stuff. I do like what you said, Bradley, about Zach Martin. I do like Kevin Zietler. Trey Smith, he's a little costly for my liking, but hey, make no mistake about it. If he's available and we can get it going, let's do it. Why not? Let's pull the pin. We've been really cheap and frugal for far too long. And there is a difference between being, looking for cheap and value. You can find something at value and not be cheap about it, if you guys know what I'm saying. And that's where a good GM works his magic, if you guys know what I mean. So, but for the draft, I'm maybe targeting an offensive tackle like Josh Simmons. If he's available, I would like something like that. Now, if you're looking at the defensive side, we need more than just Sweat, dude. We can't just get it done with Sweat. It's going to be a while before Booker can start to cook her. And maybe we can use some of that cap space to get a proven defensive tackle like Javon Kinlaw if he's available. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys say about that as far as defensive tackle and edge?
Go ahead, Michael. I'll let you start.
I think it's going to be tough because I don't think most of the guys at pick 10 will be there. Like Mason Graham will be off the board. Abdul Carter will be off the board. Those guys are arguably be top 5 picks. They won't fall to 10. I think with that 10 pick, you can maybe, if you're looking at defense, you can maybe look at Michael Williams. He's out of Georgia.
Wait. Hold on a second. I didn't mean to stop you, but listen, I kind of needed to, because it looks like the first 2 picks should be quarterbacks.
I believe they will be.
So now what you're saying is, and I hear what you're saying, it makes sense. You're either going to go quarterback or the guy that disrupts the quarterback. I mean, that's just the way it is, It's just like back when the Colts got Peyton Manning, boys. What did they do in Houston? They went and got Mario Williams. And what did they do when he went to Denver? They got rid of Mario Williams. It was like Mario was only there to disrupt and be a part of the whole Peyton Manning deal. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. I just think, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, Michael, but be ready for something like that to happen where if they go back-to-back quarterbacks. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and that's the kind of the beauty of this is that it's January 21st. The draft doesn't happen for four more months. So there is a lot that can happen between
Yeah.
now and then. And I expect a lot to happen now. Then guys that we don't even consider in the first round will move up. Guys in the first round right now will fall down. But I
Yes.
think you can kind of look at some of these top guys like Abdul Carter. He'll be gone before 10.
Dude,
I
that guy's a
truly think
beast.
Mason Graham will be gone before 10. So then you're
Yeah.
kind of looking at maybe that next tier defense. That's maybe someone like Michael Williams. Even I think he's someone that could shoot into that top 7-6 range because just of how physical he is, I could see a GM falling in love with his explosiveness and build. I mean, James Pierce will probably be there. Nick Scorton, that's out of Tennessee and Texas A&M. I think those are probably your other best looks if you're trying to look at that defensive line. I don't think Kenneth Grant is worth the top 10 pick right now. The other D tackle out of Michigan.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of want to I kind of want to just put this to bed. I feel like we have enough experience at the edge, right? I mean, we went out and got some help already. I'm not saying if somebody isn't like, I think like Sweat is like a 1B. He's not like a 1A player. He might even be like a 2A player. So if we could find somebody that is comparable to Sweat at a value, then I would say go get him. So that way he's not just by himself. But I'm also looking at an interior defensive line, and I don't know how they're going to make that work. But all I'm saying is, though, I do think that if there's somebody out there that's available that we can get early in the draft, then you go after that. But if they're going and they're sliding, maybe get them a little bit later and not get so much, put so much focus on that. I do want to see us address the trenches, Michael, even if we go try to pick up one or two guys in the free agency, because make no mistake about it, the guys that we've brought up are not young. They're kind of like, long in the tooth, if you know what I'm saying. So you got to kind of, bring those guys in to get everybody, that's one thing about getting veteran guys, Michael, and Bradley, is they're race ready, barring any injuries and any of that kind of stuff. It takes a little while. You saw with Booker, it takes a little while to get him throttled up, if you know what I'm saying. So, but I want to dive into the running backs. We all know Swift is here. Who could we pair him with? I mean, I know I really like, Darius has been on me about this early and often. Ashton Genty, I like him, or Marion Hampton. They could be perfect fits, physically is probably what we're looking for, kind of like a Sonic and Knuckles type thing. You know what I'm saying? And I really think that Swift is pretty fast. I think, he'd be the Sonic. So we got to go find our Knuckles because Rashawn he's not the answer. I think he's on his way out, man. The guy's got some health issues. So what say you guys about, we don't really want to get too far into the draft because we're going to do a mock draft here in a little bit, but name a couple guys that might interest you, that might fit with Ben Johnson, for this dream offseason.
Brad, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I've seen a couple people now. I see Dan just came in with Najee Harris. I mean, that would be a crazy signing in the free agency. He would be the Knuckles. I mean, we've seen that guy for 6 years now. I think he's been in the league. We've seen what he can do with a good offensive coordinator, that a good run game coordinator. But also another interesting nugget is Swift was actually shipped out of Detroit by Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell. So is there any, kind of hard feelings there? Is there any, does Ben not really care for Swift and his run style? Are they going to look to replace him as well? So that's just another interesting thing to kind of think about.
That was that whole Montgomery thing, and that was before Gentry. So it was kind of like convoluted. It wasn't all, and I'm sure they're businessmen. They get it. It's fine. Now they're on the same team. It'll be all right. Listen, Swift's got to cook. Ben's got to cook. They'll put it aside. They're professionals. It's all good. But I assure you, it wasn't just all Ben. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What say you, Michael? What are you looking at, buddy?
I think there's two kind of realistic paths, and one that I think is more of a dark horse. Like I don't think this happens, but I wouldn't put it past the Bears to go this route. And I think the two likely ones is just offensive line. I think Will Campbell or Kevin Banks, I think right now I'd put that as 65, 70% chance. That's probably one of the guys they draft. And I think they both will fit at guard. I don't think either will be a tackle in the NFL right now. Obviously, we'll have to see the combine and pro days to get measurements and stuff like that before we really start getting a real opinion. But I think right now, more than likely, both those guys are offensive guards. And I tweeted it out on the 18th that if Ben Johnson comes here, which at the time he wasn't yet, that Ashton Genty is a legit possibility at number 10. I know a lot of people are going to immediately go, whoa, 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 whoa. We want to draft a running back at 10 while this offensive line is this bad. And that would be going off the premise that they solve that in free agency. Like, you're not going to not do anything with the line in free agency and then draft Genty, because that would just be malpractice. They would more than likely go get Brandon Scherf or Zach Martin or Trey Smith, or even 2 out of the 3 to plug in at guard, and then draft Genty at 10. And then the dark horse, I kind of mentioned it earlier that Ben Johnson would need his JMO for this offense. Right now, we don't have someone like that. You could maybe say Tyler Scott, but I think Ben would probably want someone a little bit more skilled than just the speed Scott possesses. I go to Mizzou. I mean, it would be awesome if they drafted Luther Burden. I know that is definitely a luxury pick to take a wide receiver at number 10, but Burden has the speed. He has the run after catch. I've watched him for 3 years. He has everything that you could see in this Ben Johnson offense, but like I said, dark horse. I give it a 5% chance that happens. I would love it. I don't think a lot of Chicago would, obviously. And I'm not even sure after I settle down with my personal opinion on Burden and admiration for him that even I would be a fan of it. It would be a straight luxury pick, but I don't think I would rule that out entirely.
Hey, breaking news 11 minutes ago. Ben Johnson is bringing Hank Fraley to the Chicago Bears. It's a done deal, baby. It's a done deal.
Awesome.
We got Hank Fraley. Let's go.
I like
Let's
that.
go.
I like that.
Woo! Yeah. Oh, man, that's awesome. That's the best news I've heard in a long time. You guys know, former left tackle. I've been wanting this badly. I'm so freaking tired of Chris Morgan. Makes me want to drink freaking Captain Morgan, one leg up, and piss all over his face on the way out the door. Oh, my God. Yeah, Hank Fraley. Let's go.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. I know you guys are excited, too. It doesn't take an offensive lineman or a big guy. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen there's a big-time need at off. Like, who hasn't seen it, right? Right, Michael?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone. That's definitely a big need filled, and it kind of sounded like his fallout with Seattle was that he wanted to call plays for Seattle in their offensive coordinator job, and it sounded like Seattle didn't want to let him do that, and their loss, because we'll obviously take him. Obviously, won't be calling plays over Ben Johnson here in Chicago, but this team needs an offensive line coach. They need a real leader in the building, and I don't have to listen to this guy talk. I mean, you could just look at a picture of Hank Fraley. I trust him. I trust what he does with the offensive line.
So listen, they like him. All the guys that were like, we're going to duct tape him. We are going to throw all his dirt. Not saying he's got dirty laundry, and I don't think they were either, but they were kind of joking, halfway serious, like, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes, string you up, whatever. You're not leaving. We need you. Penei Sewell said mostly this. He's like, you're the only freaking coach on the offensive side that I know on the offensive line. You can't leave. Guess what? Sayonara, toodaloo. You're here in Chicago, baby. Wheels up, bitches. Let's go. I'm so excited, man. Dude, we got over 111 in the building. And I'm going to tell you guys something. You heard it first from Trax. We had freaking D Nice on yesterday at 2:30. He broke the news about Ben Johnson. Today, we are live talking about Hank Fraley in the building, man. I mean, I'm telling you, you guys want to track with Trax. You want to track with Michael. You want to track with freaking Bradley. Any one of us, we all got rabbit's foots. I don't know what's going on. This is freaking fantastic, guys. This is good news, man. Oh, man, this is so good. So we got to pivot. I want you to pull up some stats really quick. Michael, anything you can. Once you do, let's just kind of cruise on into that. But we'll keep going, and we're going to talk about some speed now. And Michael, he kind of already jumped ahead, and he doesn't even have my script, but he's already talked about a couple guys that I'm excited about. And number one, since we need speed to take the top off of defenses, I'm also going to look at Hollywood Brown and ask you guys. Well, now I got to ask Bradley. Could he be the guy? Michael's already freaking, pretty much drove the witness.
Read your mind, man.
Yeah. How do you think, Bradley, about someone like Hollywood Brown and what he could bring as far as a vertical threat and stretch the defense out? Like, how do you feel about that guy that Michael talked about earlier, man?
I think if Rome was used right, he can be that guy. I mean,
Yeah.
Rome's not a 4-2 burner, but he's fast, he's strong, he's big. He can get down the field, and he can really stretch the field himself. I actually I'm looking at free agents. I fell in love with Chris Godwin as a free agent.
I do too, man. As long as he can stay healthy. And the thing about Godwin right now, we don't know what's going on with him in his last injury. I forget what it was, but it wasn't too good. And I'm not saying that he even leaves Tampa. I think they really try to put the clamp down him and keep on him. And but I will tell you right now, here it goes again. Breaking news, Ben Johnson bringing Hank Fraley to Chicago, man. This is freaking awesome, guys. Yeah, like I said, I like Chris Godwin too. I think he's fantastic. But like I said, I don't know who would come in the building first. Obviously, without any injury, okay, guys, I'm going Godwin right away. And I'm just saying because I think Godwin stays. And then the other part of that is I'm worried about his injury. So it just kind of automatically falls to Hollywood Brown because he's more proven to stay healthy. He could be our like Jameson Williams, like Michael led the witness earlier. Thank you, Michael. But no, that's what's good about us all, though, man. You don't have to like one guy's not telling the other guy. We all kind of have a good idea, and everybody in the chat's got a good idea because out of all 32 teams, I pick our Chicago Bears fans head over heels, and then we're like the smartest guys in the freaking world. Okay, so like I said, I like the idea, but and to not really overpay on speed alone. And we talked about who did we talk about? Oh, the cheetah, and whether or not that was someone to look at in terms of that. I was talking to Chris about that earlier today in the show, and there's a problem there with does he have baggage or that kind of stuff. With these two guys, I don't really see that. Tyreek would be pretty awesome to have, but make no mistake about it. If you're getting rid of Keenan Allen and you're moving on from him, yeah, you've got your 1-2 receiver, but you still definitely need a 3 receiver there, Bradley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I wouldn't have any problem with Hollywood Brown either. Van Jefferson's on the market this offseason.
Okay.
And Rondale Moore, the former Purdue graduate.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty quick. I don't know what he ran at the combine, but I know he's a slot type receiver, and that's kind of the position we're talking about filling right now is the slot receiver.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, hey, let's dive into the mock draft simulator. While I'm getting that set up, Michael's going to do a little deep dive in Hank Fraley. I could see all the lights going off like he's at a club or something, man. It's all bouncing off his face while he's you could hear he's doing some action over there on the keyboard, man. So, yeah, like I said, we'll be picking what we think is the dream draft for Ben Johnson. And the way this is going to work is, basically like I'm the guy that oh boy, hold on a second. What's going on here? Okay, I'm good right now, but this draft can't last too long. I forgot to bring my wall plug. It's upstairs. I just got the saver on. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna do a simulator. It's gonna be Michael, it's gonna be Bradley, and we're gonna ask you guys. We're gonna move on. This one's going to be without any trade backs or anything. It's just going to be straight up to save time. We're going to get into other mock drafts. You guys have seen it, how we've done it before. We do an amazing thing where it's by committee. We'll be picking what we think is the dream draft for Ben Johnson. Michael's going to go ahead and control the first round. Bradley, you've got the second, and I'll handle the third. So just let me get this started, and Michael's going to give you guys a little bit of – he's going to take you to church on some Hank Fraley.
Yeah, I mean, one of the stories that kind of pops out about Hank Fraley, you go back to 2021 when Detroit won 3 games, I believe, and they were the second pick in the draft. That's when they took Aiden Hutchinson, but Taylor Decker was still on that Lions team, and he personally vouched to Dan Campbell why Hank Fraley should keep his job. I mean, Taylor Decker's a veteran in the league. He played for a while. He was good basically wherever he went. So I think his opinion has a little bit of weight. And I mean, quote straight from Decker, one thing I flat out asked was to give Hank an opportunity to interview for the job. Decker said, don't just clean house, because I think he does a really good job. I think he has a really great understanding of the game, studies the hell out of everything and all the defenses. And I think his approach with delivering information and new techniques is fantastic because he played the game for 11 years. He's good for the room, a lot of young guys in the room, and I think he's done a really good job. And I think that part about a lot of young guys is important because you have Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, who are pretty young themselves. I mean, Darnell Wright will be going into his 3rd year, Braxton Jones 4th. And I mean, if you're drafting a guard at that number 10 pick, that's another young guy to add into the mix. That's 3 out of 5 of your O-line. I have someone with already vouched that he's good with young guys just as well as he is with older guys, but it's really that young guy that you kind of got to motivate, get ready, develop well. I think that's the big one that stands out about Hank Fraley and what he can really bring to this O-line and just offense as a whole.
Yeah, let me see here. I think, let's see, how did this work? Go ahead. Keep going. I'm gonna work on this for you guys. I'm listening to you. What exactly about it do you guys oh crap. I gotta reset this thing. What is it about this that you guys like about this guy already from what Michael's been saying,
Yeah, Brad, you got anything on Hank that I may have missed?
Yeah, I haven't really found anything on him, but the fact that he's being he's being pledged for his attention to detail and the fact that he deep dives into everything and he doesn't half-ass anything. We've had a whole lot of that here in Chicago, and it's shown. It's time to make a change. No more of that stuff.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Can you guys still see me?
Yep.
Sorry. All right, guys. You guys can control the chat, and I'm gonna go. Just you guys are my eyes, okay? You guys are my eyes and ears. This is kind of scary. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick our team, Chicago Bears. We're gonna do all 7 rounds. Okay, we're gonna go slow with this, and let's enter the draft.
Sounds good.
All right, team needs right now are edge, offensive guard, offensive center, defensive tackle, and receiver. Let's go ahead and open this up a little bit. Looks so far like Shedeur Sanders was picked up by Tennessee Titans, followed by Cameron Ward, and then Travis Hunter in the 3rd round. We've got a trade. You guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know I said we weren't going to do trades, but I would like to explore this now that everything's working. We're going back 4, but then we also get a 2nd round pick, but it's 2026. I think we need to address what's going on this year. I would like to select next. We're not going to do any trades, but I just want to show everybody at home how this works. No trades this time. So we click the next one. Buffalo, we go way back, but they're giving us a haul. They're giving us the 30th, the 56th, the 62, and 2026 Buffalo third round. So that's pretty tempting, even though you're going back quite a ways, guys. Here's another one. This is one that I probably would go for. Scratch all that other stuff. It might be empty calories. You get a 15th, a 46, and we already got 2 second rounders. I mean, that looks pretty good right there for me. And finally, actually there's still more after this. The Colts got, the 14th and then the 2nd round in 2026. And that's pretty much it, guys. So, all right. So that's kind of how that works. So we'll look into that. We'll delve into that when we get there. Okay. So far off the board, Shedeur Sanders from Colorado's gone. Cameron Ward from Miami's gone. Travis Hunter from Colorado for the Giants is gone. Abdul Carter, the edge that you were talking about earlier, Michael, from Penn State, the Patriots picked up him. Jason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan, he's gone. Ashton Gentry went to the Raiders. They found a way to stick it to us since we got the freaking head coach that they wanted. Will Johnson from Michigan to the Jets. Titiora McMillan from Arizona went to the Panthers. And James Pierce, edge, went to Tennessee. You guys, how do you guys feel about this draft so far? Does everything track pretty well or no?
I think it tracks pretty well. I think Genty at 6 is a little rich, but I think it's maybe not the most unrealistic option. I also think Pierce at the moment, I think top 10 is a little rich, but he was supposed to be really good this year at Tennessee. He still had a good year. I just don't think it was the year that people really expect him to have. He had 7.5 sacks, forced fumble, 38 tackles. But, I mean, he was the favorite heading into the season to go number 1. So I don't think he really lived up to that potential, but I think there's still a lot of raw potential there. But I'm not sure I'd trust the Bears really to get the most out of a prospect like that.
So, guys, on board, looks like our number 1 need is edge. According to this, by the way, guys, okay? Our next picks are 41, 42, and 72. Okay? Right now we got Mikel Williams from Georgia, edge. We got a safety. We got another edge in Nick Scorton. We got a cornerback, Siobhan Ravel. Kelvin Banks is there at 14. I don't know how much further we need to go down. Is there anything out there that interests you or the chat?
I think it's Will Campbell. I think right now he's my number 1 O-lineman over Banks. I think they're pretty close. I think maybe a little bit of testing might be able to put Banks over Campbell for me. But right now, I think Will Campbell's probably the better prospect out of the two, especially if they're both at guard. Will Campbell had the better year. And they both are SEC experience, so you don't really got to split hairs there with those two guys. They went up against some of the best players in college football playing in the SEC. But right now, I think I lean Will Campbell. I think he would fill that left guard spot pretty well on this O-line.
I love Will Campbell, man. I think he's an excellent tackle. And I agree with you, man. He's got that dog in him. What say you, Bradley? And what's the chat saying out there?
Looks like we got a lot of back and forth edges and tackles. That's all I'm seeing.
All like defensive tackles, bro, or offensive?
Offensive tackles and edges. And it kind of just depends on what you think we really need to address, defense or offensive line. They've both been kind of bad, but I like Walker as an edge from Georgia.
Yeah.
Seems like Georgia guys always translate to the league, and they translate quick.
Okay. I know you got second. Michael's got first.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody seconding or third what Michael said?
See, we got a Will Campbell from Dano. Let's see if I can scroll down here. Dano likes Will Campbell. Got Grizz likes Kelvin Banks.
Ant Mass said trade back.
Yeah, honestly, if you guys are really looking at Will Campbell at 18, we could have done that. That one trade, what was it, the 14th pick, and then you get one at 42nd or something like that?
Yeah, trading back with the Colts would have been a decent one too.
That was the Colts, right?
Yeah, it was for next year's second round.
Ask the chat and make sure it's okay with Michael because he's got the lead in this right now, but this is by committee, okay? Ask the chat, try to figure this out if we can go ahead and trade back and grab Will Campbell later if everybody's in agreement with that and get that extra pick. I'm going to go back. If they say yes, we'll propose the trade and see if it works with the Colts.
Looks like we got 3 that are pretty intrigued with the trade back.
Okay.
Mass, Grizz, and the Scrolls.
Okay. What's Michael's final decision, man?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, we got over 126 in the chat, man. Looks like you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. So let me go ahead and get this proposed trade. Now, once you get out of that area, you can't go ahead and go back to where it was. You can restart but you don't want to do that. So let's try to do this. It was the Lions, you said, guys?
Colts.
Oh, Colts
at 14.
Another Colt blue team. Okay. All right, here we go. Confirm. So we're going to go. We got the 10th pick, right?
Yep.
Oh, 2000. Okay. And then we want to get the Colts 14th, 45th. Now I'm going to get a little, trust your boy Trax. Okay. Sometimes I can pull this out. Let me go ahead and see if they'll give us a 4th in 2026. So a 14th, 45th, and 4th in 2026 for our 10th. You guys ready?
Yeah, sure.
You good with that, Michael, or do you think I should go up a little bit on our third one?
No, I think that's fine. I'm honestly not so sure that this one's going to go through, so we'll see.
All right, man. Everybody put the juju out there. We were riding high with Ben Johnson and ain't Fraley. Why not say you? Let's go. Roll the dice. Rejected. All right, so let's do it again. Hey, you remember like in Madden football when you try to do a trade and after so many times, they just don't freaking listen to you?
Yeah.
Just force trade it.
Yeah. Oh, 4 straight. Look at this guy. He's telling us how he won in football. All right, hold on. All right. I'm done with that. Just 2 picks. Let's not waste these guys' time. Why is it rejected? They agreed to it earlier.
I think try their next year pick.
Year's second round.
Yeah. Oh, you thought it might have been next year's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're probably right about. Or no, was it the Colts? Okay. Let's see here. 14th. No, I think it was the Falcons, boys. I think it was the Falcons. Hold on. Let me back up. Yeah, let me back up 1 second. Let me just I'm not doubting you. I just for some reason that's kind of stuck in my vortex right now. If that's even a fucking hold on a second. Yeah, 46. 15. I think it's 15th and 46. Hold on, boys. You guys ready?
Do it.
Let's do it. All right, let's go back to the Lions. Or no, the dang Colts. I don't know why I keep saying Lions. I got Lions on the brain right now. Okay, so the next year, second rounder. Okay. All right, let's do it.
I want you to go through.
Rejected again.
That's wild.
What's going on?
They said you missed your shot.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's restart the draft. We're backing up and putting. I messed it up for you guys, so we're going to go ahead and reset it. We're going to do this slow speed 7th. Okay, here we go. Entering the solo draft. Shedeur Sanders again, boys. Mason Graham a little early on that one, right? McMillan, receiver. Carter again. Will Johnson. Starks at safety for Raiders. I guess they don't just need a running back. Don't say it's going to happen. Oh, Genty's available. That changes everything, boys. Oh. All right, let's see what the trades we got out there for the trades. 10th pick, 33-67. 21, 26, 26, 16, 47. That's decent right there. Help me remember that one, because if you still want your offensive lineman, is anybody going bug nuts over Genty right now? 15th and 46 for the Falcons, and that's pretty much it. I say
that Steelers one was a first round next year. That's crazy. Oh,
the first round next, yeah, and the 21. And the fourth round, too.
Yeah.
What do you guys say? You guys want to trade back? I don't think we get that offensive lineman on 21, boys.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that first round, but we kind of need to get good now.
Yep.
I agree.
So, okay, we got 16 there. How's the chat doing? Are they ready to hang me yet? I like 15th and 46 right there. We're going to trade back and get your offensive lineman that Michael wanted earlier, unless they're forcing the issue that we get out Ashton now that he's available and he wasn't last time. Is anybody saying that we want Ashton?
I haven't seen any, no.
No. What do you guys think?
Go ahead and accept the trade.
Yeah, I see nothing about Genty. I say go ahead.
All right, let's do it. All right, that's a wrap. We're moving on. Genty went to the freaking Cowgirls. Cameron Ward went to Steelers. Banks went to Dolphins. Oh, we got another trade. We're going to ignore this. We're going to get rid of this. We need to get a guy now, guys. You agree?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you wanted Will Campbell, right?
Yep, that was the guy.
All right, let's do it. Done deal. That's a wrap.
Sweet.
Colston Loveland, man, he must be one hell of a tight end to go that early, huh, boys?
I don't think he would go that early. I think it'd be Tyler Warren to go off the board first, the Penn State kid. He looks more like George Kittle in the NFL. He blocks really well. He's a beast after the catch. I think I'd have him over Loveland right now.
Wow. Okay. You guys, can anybody pull up the intangibles on the guy we just drafted? I know they like to do that and sound all fancy and all that stuff. So that might be good to have somebody click on that guy and see what's going on. I'm going to keep paying attention to this clock here.
Yeah, I could read a little something I see about Campbell. Will Campbell, 3-year starter at left tackle for LSU, highly talked about prospect for years. Hype is shown his run blocking, where he dominates in almost all run schemes. His down blocks might be the cleanest in the class, specifically his gap deuces. Without galloping, he fires his second foot and tosses the D-line into the A-gap before climbing up and taking care of the linebacker. The biggest flash in his tape came from a read gallop where he took the four tech and sent him flying 2 gaps over with solely his upper body. In zone runs, he was put in horrible positions to try and reach 2 techs, but he'd still almost get there. Will's first step is almost always positive. His athleticism takes over to at least get a body on a body. Random snaps, it seems like he either doesn't know the player, lacks the effort to get to his man. Also, once or so a game, he doesn't move his feet on the play side of inside zone and gets shucked easily. There's no question if he has the power profile to move bodies, but he will start lunging to get the big impact blocked and as a result, gets shucked. While his run blocking is worth the hype, his pass pro isn't so. It became well known that Will loses his feet overall when faced with wide techs and speed. So almost every team threw wide nines and pure speed defensive ends at him. Despite the amount of reps, he was never able to get a grip on his pass pro issue. He still pulls with his back foot instead of pushing off, causing his feet to come together. His hips also flip way too early in his pass set, which pairs with his feet and a poor aiming point to cause many oversets. I'm not honestly going to read this whole thing. It goes on.
No, you're good, man. You've went above and beyond the Call of Duty, man. I appreciate you. But we do need to tap into your resources right now because we've got 3 picks right now coming in hot. We got 41, 42, and 46. So we've got quite a bit to choose from right now, boys. And we're on the clock. So we've got edge available, receiver available, another offensive lineman from Mizzou. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that guy. We got a guard and Millam's available. Wow. I was talking about, I don't know how the chat feels about it, but I wouldn't mind getting another offensive lineman right now, unless somebody on the defensive line kind of, sticks out, or even this, where's that running back? I just saw a run. Oh, Caleb Johnson from Iowa. Now he's available at 48, so we could solidify and get an offensive lineman or an edge right now. And then, like I said, we've got 3 picks in the next, five picks. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think? This is actually Bradley's turn. So what do you want, Bradley?
I think I'm going to attack the edge.
The edge? Okay.
Yeah.
So now who do you know out there that you like?
Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it, but from what I do know, Shamar Stewart, it's not a wrong pick there at 41, 42. What are we on, 42, 41 or 42 right now?
40.
Either way, same pick
41.
for us. That's not a bad pick at all. See if I know any of the other names on here.
Landon Jackson from Arkansas and Princely. Oh, I'm not even going to try that. At Ole Miss. And then Dion Walker from Kentucky. What do you think, Michael? What do you see over there, buddy?
I think the one that stands out is that Princey Umanemen, whatever it is, I don't even know how to pronounce it. But the Ole Miss edge, he had 10.5 sacks this year at Ole Miss. He was kind of the ringleader for that Ole Miss defensive line. I mean, him and Walter Nolan, he's a D tackle. I'm sure he already went because he'll be back into the first, top end of the second round. And those two together were part of one of the best D lines in not just the SEC, but the entire country. And the Princely guy, 10.5 sacks, big reason why. I think out of those guys, I might lean him for that reason.
Hold up now. What about this JT Tuamola from Ohio State, the edge? I remember seeing him. What do you think about that?
I don't think it'd be a bad pick. I mean, again, they do need an edge, and this edge class is very, very deep. There's a lot of guys you could argue all fit here, and I think that you really wouldn't be wrong on any of them. And it'll be really interesting to see how they test, what combine interviews go, see which guys start moving up. And really, it could end up being that there is no wrong answer.
Hey, let's go ahead and pick a guy because I'm at like 6% battery and I want to finish this draft. Sorry, guys. So let's go ahead and let's get that Shamar Stewart because that's what Bradley wanted, and we'll move on. Okay, guys?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. I'm trying to – oh, gosh. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and ignore any of the drafts, trades or whatever. Okay, so we're back on the clock, obviously. I like the Wyatt Millum as offensive guard from West Virginia. If somebody likes the Missouri Armand Membu over him, then let me know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think Ant-Man said go D-line with the first one, O-line with the second one. I think, though, I think in this one, I think more than likely the Bears are going to go get a guard in free agency.
All right, I'm going to get Wyatt Millum, and then we'll go ahead and get the defensive tackle with the next one, okay?
Yep. Sounds good.
All right, and I'll let Ant-Mass know. I apologize, but we're kind of running short on time with this. So I think he'll get –
yes, take him.
I think he'll get his defensive lineman. I think he will. I think we'll be all right. So the next defensive lineman is Deon Walker. Anybody got a problem with him?
Nope.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get
stuffer.
He says,
all right, Deon Walker. Let's go ahead and go. After that, our next one is 147, 203, and 234. Man, we got a pretty good draft so far, boys.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, what's that?
That hit about every need we've got on our team right now.
I mean, I don't want to stick our neck out there any further than it already is, but if there's a running back available that you guys know of, I really would like to hit him up because we already got that defensive lineman that they wanted, and that edge too. We got 2 offensive linemen, a defensive lineman, interior, and an edge, so let's try to look for a running back if there's one available.
Well, the guy from Arizona State, is he still on the board?
That guy from Ohio State, Quinton Judkins from Ohio State. Who are you talking about? Oh, there's the other one.
Skidab, yeah.
Oh, Scadabo.
Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me with him is that concussion. He's had 2 concussions already, and we're getting rid of one guy because of that, and we're trading for another guy. You know what I mean? But I will tell you this, boys, and this is just me. First response. I really like that. Oh, he's already gone. Never mind. Somebody picked him up. The other running back from Ohio State. And honestly, I don't see a running back available in the near future unless we really reach. So we don't want to do that, do we?
I think depending, or this is a 3rd round. Yeah, it might be a little early, but I mean, Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma State, he was really good last year at Oklahoma State. He had a down year for them, but all the traits were still on film for him this year. His power, his speed, and burst. I think he's going to be one of the steals of the draft wherever he falls, and I think that'd be one to maybe look at.
Boys, it still says we need a wide receiver. Do you guys see somebody available on deck right now?
I do not.
Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, none of them guys?
I don't think any of them fit the mold of field stretch.
Okay.
Especially, not Kyron Lacey. He's going to be in jail in a couple months.
Okay, thanks for letting us know about that. That would have been bad.
That's just LSU, right?
What about Josiah Stewart? Or look at this tight end Gunnar Helm.
We do need tight end help.
Oh,
Definitely.
DJ Giddens from Kansas State. What say you about him?
Honestly, I'm not too high on Giddens. I mean, he's not awful,
All right.
but I'm not sure exactly the mold that they need.
Let me go to running back and see who's on deck right away. We got Scatabo right now. Scatabo, Giddens, Ole Gordon.
Boy,
they're
out of
way
those
down
guys,
there.
I mean, I think Gordon probably fits the mold the best for me. I think Scatabo would be second.
All right.
Yeah, I'm with him. I'm with him.
All right, let's get Gordon. Let's keep rolling. I think I'm at 3% now. Man, this is crazy. We're in the clutch right now, boys. Let's hope we finish, man.
As I say, you can't jump ahead to our next pick, can you?
I don't think so. I don't even think I could control the speed right now. Once you're locked in at a certain speed, you know.
Gotcha.
We're getting there.
When it's Scatabo.
He did?
Yeah. Unless
he's still available. He's still available at 95. We could go get 2 running backs.
No. Ant-Man says no. Okay, he must not have wanted him.
Oh. Gotcha. All right.
I just think he's too small. I think he's 5'9" or something. I mean, the dude's built like a truck, but I think actually we just lost tracks at 3% right now quick. But yeah, I think just the difference between Scatabo and Gordon is Scatabo is not exactly NFL size. I mean, we see a lot of these running backs in college. They're great in college, but just the size and kind of build that they are sometimes doesn't exactly translate to the NFL. And that's not to say small running backs can't be successful. Obviously, we've seen our share at Darren Sproles and even Tariq Cohen, those guys are fast, athletic, elusive. That's not really Scatabo's game. He's more of a power, little small trunk that just runs at you.
That's where I don't trust Genty either. Because he's got that 5'9" frame. He's built like Tyreek Hill, but maybe a little thicker than Tyreek. But
looks like Traxy's back.
What's up, boys?
I lost you.
I'm back on the block. Okay, I'm on my. There we go. All right, I'm back. I got my phone, so we're doing this. But I can't finish the draft. We can't finish the draft because the computer is dead in the water, bro. Dead in the water. That's what happens when you leave it out in the garage all day and you let it warm up, and then it takes 4 hours to charge. So. Better battery health ahead, so got to keep that thing inside. Although I will tell you right now, it is 53 degrees in here. It's nice and toasty. So, so yeah, pretty much what we were rounding out is finding another receiver. I think, as you guys can see, it's very difficult to get all the needs that you need. It's not as easy as it looks, is it, Michael?
No, not at all. And I think that's why, again, teams will show their hand a little bit in free agency where they go that route. Again, if they super hammer in on O-line, that might show their hand a little bit that they might not be looking at it with that 10th pick.
And I almost feel like we should have went receiver when we went that second offensive lineman, or it did a little bit better of balancing, because I really didn't realize there was that big of a drop-off when you're looking for your receivers. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
So we learned something about that, in this draft. Somebody said plugged in. No. I'm good. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys can see my rafters from there. Looks like I'm in the garage. All right, there we go. We're back to studio quality. All right, so yeah, you guys got anything else you guys want to talk about, or wrapping it up?
No, I think we touched on pretty much everything that's hot right now.
Yeah.
Did you guys see any other breaking news while we were on, outside of just the outlier of getting our new offensive coordinator, Hank Fraley, baby?
No, that's all that's happened.
So now we're getting a little greedy. We still want to get that special teams guy. That's the interim head coach that was the special teams guy from the Saints. I guess he's a stud, Rizzy or something like that.
Yeah, the Rizzler.
Rizzler. What can you say about that guy, Michael? You got any you got any words of wisdom that you'd like to let us know about?
I don't really have too much, honestly, on him because I think there's actually a solid chance that the Bears could just keep their special teams coordinator. Like, I don't think Rizzi's exactly as locked in as maybe Hank Fraley is to come here or Dennis Allen because the Bears special teams look pretty good to end the year. I mean, you had the field goal blocking issue there for a little bit, but it seemed like that got fixed. You had the punt return against Green Bay. Overall, I thought their special teams was pretty decent.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you guys feel like getting a guy like Hank Fraley would really start to let people, that's kind of like a flex, like we're getting serious about offensive line and free agents will start to actually want to come here instead of look at it as like a graveyard for offensive linemen? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah, a guy like Zach Martin that knows the league really well, I think that would attract him a little bit more.
And I think Zach Martin would potentially attract other people too. Combine that with freaking Hank Fraley, and we're cooking with grease, baby. I mean, seriously, Hank Fraley isn't that far removed from being an actual player himself, right, Michael?
Yeah, he's not. Or Hank Fraley, he played for 11 years. I don't think he's too far retired, but again, that's kind of what you're looking for. I mean, you go Ben Johnson, young offensive coordinator. Why not stick to it a little bit? I do think you need some veteran leadership, and that's where Dennis Allen comes in. He's kind of a veteran presence in the room, but why not go with the young, innovative guys?
I want to throw this out here, talking about Coach Rizzi. I follow Alvin Kamara on X. 9 hours ago, he tweeted, "My vote for head coach rhymes with fizzy." So that says a lot. Their best player over there in New Orleans is wanting to keep their interim head coach to be their full-time head coach. So I think if we were able to upgrade our special teams position, that wouldn't hurt.
And I think it'd be safe to say that we'll go ahead and take Kamara while we're just fleecing the whole Saints organization. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he likes Rizzi that much. He'd just come with him.
Send the dome too, folks. We want the dome. Throw it in the package. Yeah, so I'm really excited about the whole deal. Like I said, I'm kind of with Michael in the sense that let's go ahead and focus and make sure that we get Dennis inked before we start, worrying about our special teams because, with what's his name, Hightower. Yeah, Hightower. I think like he said, he came on strong, did a good job in the end. But make no mistake about it, dude. Rizzi is that dude for special teams for sure. So, what do you got over there about this guy, man?
I don't think there's too much, honestly, on him. I mean, his work kind of speaks for himself. I mean, he's was promoted to being a head coach. Obviously, he gets the nod of approval from Alvin Kamara. So I think the fact that a special teams coordinator is getting looks to be a head coach, I think that's pretty rare. Not really seen so much. I think that just speaks to his overall pedigree of work that he has.
No, yeah, you're right. I agree on that wholeheartedly. I think that's important. And I also like the fact that he did so well with the punt return and kick return that's like people are, basically really oohing and on over that. And that's kind of what we need. We haven't seen that in not saying that it's comparable to Devin Hester, but we really haven't got good return, in terms of that and all that. So I'd like to see that happen. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, boys. Hey, thank you for over 140 in the chat. That's global. That's across all the platforms, We got Twitter, X app, Instagram, Facebook. We got it all, baby. It's been awesome, man. It's been a pleasure. YouTube, thank you guys so much for showing up and showing out. And, hey, man, we've got the future's bright. 2025 is great. We're all united. We've got a lot of good stuff moving forward. We got a lot of special things. Next time, we'll make sure to keep Track's computer plugged in, and I'll keep my space heater going so I don't freeze up into a popsicle. And thank you guys. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Bradley. It's been a joy. Do you guys have any closing pleasantries?
No. I think it's really exciting, though. I think it's kind of exciting to see the Bears acting like a real organization, considering they haven't for the better part of the last decade. And I think the decisions they've made have been good. Whether it results to win on the field, we'll have to wait till August to really start seeing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Until then, try to see if there's, you know what'd be cool on Madden is if you could do like a coach swap simulator, and then your team like starts to do better and stuff. Like, oh, like why are you throwing the ball into the dirt and getting sacked all the time? Oh, we got Ben Johnson and Hank Fraley here. All of a sudden, we're like winning games and stuff. That'd be cool. Shout out, hey Madden, if you're paying attention to tracks today, let's try to get that in the EA Sports scope. Okay.
Sounds good.
That'd be cool, right, boys?
Yeah.
So, hey, Michael, we're going to make sure that we get you on the next, all the three of us will do another mock simulator. If it's not this week, it'll be next Tuesday. I'll come back and hijack your guys' show again.
That sounds good.
Work. Yeah.
We'll do a little like, outlier of any sort of news that we got like we did, and then we'll break into the draft, something like that. Looks like everybody liked it, had a good time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, guys. Let's see. Michael, can you close this out with the video and then end the show, or you got the controls over there?
Yep,
Okay.
I got it.
All right. Thanks.
Yep.